Guys, this is the S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of August 19th. Means from August 19th, which is Monday, to August 23rd, that will be Friday. Now let's discuss the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. But before that, until last week, the S&P 500 was trading bearish and it was supposed to give more bearish movement. However, because of the favorable CPI data and the favorable retail sales data, the S&P 500 has gained heavily and has changed its short-term trend from bearish to neutral. And now in the coming week, the S&P 500 is going to change the trend from neutral to bullish. So I will tell you that how it is going to work and whether there will be a pullback or not and what will be the limit in the bull side. So the first point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the weekly chart. Weekly chart means the big picture. Now the only problem, see here we can see that it has gained or it has entered into the neutral trend. And as early as on Monday, this neutral trend will change to the bullish trend, right? However, on the weekly chart, the picture has not much changed because the MACD and the stochastic RSI are still trading bearish. This means that although everything looks bullish, that it has regained the bullish movement, bullish trend momentum, but because of this MACD and the stochastic RSI on the weekly chart, we will still see, or the S&P 500 will still feel pressure. And that can force the S&P 500 to give a short or like an intraday reversal, okay, just a short pullback or so. So I will discuss everything here in this technical analysis. Now the second point of the agenda is the S&P 500 technical analysis on the daily chart. Daily chart clearly, okay, it is now in neutral and neutral to bullish, okay, as early as on Monday. Now the last point of the agenda is the probable movement of the SP 500 from August 19th, which is Monday, to August 23rd, that will be Friday. So this was my previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, and here I mentioned the level 5395. Okay, it was 100% confirmed that S&P 500 will move up and will hit 5395. But the closings will matter. So similarly, whatever is going to happen in this the coming week, I will discuss in this the last point of the agenda. So guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And guys, once again, let me remind you that all of these, the three sections are interlinked, are interconnected. That is why it is strongly recommended that you should watch all of these, the three sections, in order to understand what is going to happen in the S&P 500, why that is going to happen, and how that is going to happen in the S&P 500. And also, I will take the reference of the Dow Jones. Now guys, I am going to discuss the first point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, and this is the weekly chart. W as in weekly chart. Weekly chart means one candle represents 1 week, not 1 day or 1 hour. So now first comes the candle. But before that guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you are looking for these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now let's discuss the candle. It's a heavy bullish candle. Heavy bullish candle. And as I mentioned in my previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, that this particular week, this will be the last chance for the S&P 500 or the Wall Street or the market to save itself. Otherwise, this will continue, okay, and we are anticipating clearly 20 to 25% fall. Okay, now this 20 to 25% fall is still in the picture. Okay, so I will discuss this thing later. Okay, but now, so now there is a very heavy, very strong bullish candle. And also the closing of the candle is just around the high of the candle. Okay, all of this indicates heavy bullish sentiments, and it also indicates either a gap up open on Monday, or irrespective of any open, an initial bullish movement on Monday. Means either there will be a gap up open, or even if there comes a little gap down open, then also it will correct itself either initially in the first 15 minutes or 1 hour, else there will be an intraday bullish movement. Okay, so this is what the candle signifies. Now, if you notice, this is the chart of Dow Jones. Okay, again a very heavy, very strong bullish candle. Okay, the same thing. Either a gap up open on Monday or irrespective of any open, an initial bullish movement or an intraday bullish movement. Okay, now let's discuss the technicals. Yes, there is some improvement. Okay, now this improvement is, see, at first moving averages clear fan out, also the closing is above the moving averages. Okay, so now the moving averages are supporting this the heavy, this not heavy, but this is the bullish movement. Okay, and this is, remember, this is the weekly chart. Bollinger Bands are bullish, Ichimoku cloud is bullish, and other than that, the most important part is the MACD. Now MACD is still bearish. Okay, number one. Number two, stochastic RSI is also bearish. Okay, but if there comes a very normal movement or a little red or any kind of green candle on Monday, so then in that case, as early as on Monday itself, the stochastic RSI will give a bullish crossover. Once it gives a bullish crossover, in that case, this the condition of the bearish MACD, bearish stochastic RSI, it won't be able to put the heavy pressure on the S&P 500, rather it will be out of this the heavy pressure. And if everything goes well, in that case, in next 3 weeks, I guess 3 to 4 weeks, the MACD will also change to bullish. Okay, because MACD will take significant time. Okay, so but as of now it is bearish, and yes, if there comes more bullish movement for next 1 week or 2 weeks, then definitely it will enter into the saturation and in the overbought condition again. Okay, and that will be one reason that why we will expect another pullback. Okay, when that happens. So here on the weekly chart, we can clearly see that the S&P 500 is 65% bullish, right? Now the weekly chart of the Dow Jones, okay, if you notice, almost the same thing is okay, it is seen here. Moving averages clear fan out, closing is above the moving averages, Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku cloud, bullish. However, yes, there is plus point. Okay, in case of the S&P, in case of the Dow Jones, the MACD is bullish. It is not bearish, it is bullish. Until last week it was, until this week it was bearish, but because of this strong bullish candle, MACD has changed to bullish. Stochastic RSI is bearish, so that's not a big deal. Okay, and so considering all of these factors and everything, as Dow Jones is 80% bullish on the weekly chart. Okay, it is 80% bullish on the weekly chart, it is 65% bullish on the weekly chart. This means that overall the Wall Street, overall the stock market, the US stock market has turned or has moved or changed to the bullish side. Okay, so guys, before I discuss the daily chart, this is the information that I want to share with you. This is my stock market knowledge transfer program, or the S&P 500 knowledge transfer program. Through this program, I teach the movement strategies, analysis, technicals, predictions, means how to predict the movement of the stock market, the S&P 500 and these things. Now the motto of this program is to help you become self-reliant. This program is delivered one-on-one basis only. And other than that, whatever you are going to learn here, it will be applicable to any stock, any index, any currency, commodity, crypto or anything. This is my email address, and this is the link to the Google spreadsheet where everything is mentioned in the detail. And also I mentioned the link to this Google spreadsheet and email address in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And when you open this Google spreadsheet, then you will notice that there are these 3 levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. And I mentioned clearly what I'm going to cover here, from basics to advanced, the option strategies, and options trading calculator, binomial calculator, and the Black-Scholes calculator, okay, strategies. And other than that, how I will also give you these the support and resistance levels, okay, for 5 years, and how to know the limits of the movement, how to know the limits of the market even before it reaches to those limits. For example, last week I mentioned 5395. It was confirmed that it will hit 5395. Now what happens at 5395? Okay, that will be a different thing, but it will happen. So to understand and to calculate these the limits and how to deduce the trend, how to analyze the trend, each and everything, these are important terms and conditions. These are the snapshots of the recent meetings. So guys, whenever you want to participate in this program or if you have any questions, then this is my email address, and also I've given the link to this program in the description of the video and also in the comment section. Now guys, I am going to discuss the second point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. And here I will do the technical analysis of the S&P 500 on the daily chart. This is the daily chart. Daily chart means one candle represents one day, not 1 hour or 1 week. So now if you notice, this is the last candle. Okay, it's a bullish candle. It's not a heavy bullish candle. It's just a bullish candle, but there is a problem with this candle. And what was the problem? The problem was the high of the candle was 5562. Whereas the recent high was 5566. S&P 500, although it managed to sustain, but it failed to hit or breach 5566. That was the primary condition for more bullish movement to be seen. And this was my second update to my Patreon community members on Friday. And here I have clearly mentioned that there are very heavy chances that S&P 500 will remain up to 5566 or shy of 5566, and there won't be any more bullish movement until and unless S&P 500 breaches the 5566 mark. And even if it breaches the 5566 mark, then also the next resistance level is just near to 5566. In that case, it won't be able to clear that the resistance level. Okay, so whatever bullish movement will be there, it will be very, very limited. And if there comes any fall, then that fall will be very, very limited. Very limited. Okay. And other than that, there are strong chances that in the entire second half, S&P 500 will still be seen trading around 5550, a little up down or so. So now this means that even though the candle is bullish, there are bullish sentiments, but this candle does not confirm any gap up open. Right? However, yes, because of these are back to back, these are bullish candles, we can say that bullish momentum is there, which can help the S&P 500 to sustain and to move up. Okay, but it does not confirm any gap up open. On the weekly chart, we have seen a condition for the gap up open, but here this condition is not there. This means that overall we can anticipate that irrespective of any open, there will be an initial bullish movement or an intraday bullish movement. Okay. Now, this initial or intraday bullish movement, once it reaches to around 5562, then this condition will be fulfilled. That's it. Okay. So this is there. And now in terms of the technicals, but guys, before that, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And if you are looking for these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, then you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. So now before I discuss the technicals, let's take a look at this, the daily candle of the Dow Jones. Again, the same thing. Everything is same. Restricted means there was the bullish movement, but it was not heavy. Okay. And it was struggling to move up. However, there was no such condition of 5566 in the a similar condition, okay, that was there in the S&P 500. This means that Dow Jones is in much better condition as compared to the S&P 500. Now let's discuss the technicals, but before that let me tell you that there was a trend line, and on August 15 there was a bullish breakout, okay, because of the favorable retail sales data. And this is what I mentioned in my previous S&P 500 weekly technical analysis, that if the retail sales data, okay, if it comes favorable, in that case expect heavy bullish movement, okay, which will be towards 5566, and if it breaches 5566, then only it will move up further. Okay, but if the retail sales data, if it goes against, in that case fall and fall, fourth round of selling will be there. Okay, so I will discuss this trend line breakout, its implications and the pullback, okay, in the next point of the agenda. So now here in terms of the technicals, moving averages, okay, these moving averages were putting the pressure on the S&P 500, and because of that, okay, it was trading bearish. Now we can see that the moving averages are converging, and if there comes very normal, very limited movement, red, green, doesn't matter, in that case on Monday the S&P 500 will see or these moving averages will give a bullish crossover. Okay, once that happens, then immediately the S&P 500 will re-enter into the bullish trend from the current neutral trend. Okay, so as of now, the moving averages will be seen or will be considered as neutral, Okay, now Bollinger Bands clearly bullish, Ichimoku Cloud clearly bullish, and other than that, MACD is clearly bullish, Stochastic RSI is bullish. Stochastic RSI is about to hit the saturation. It is about to hit the saturation, and it can happen as early as on Monday. Once it hits the saturation, then again it will create a condition for a pullback, which may be seen either on Monday, Tuesday, okay, Wednesday, but it will happen. The day stochastic RSI hits the saturation, from that day onwards, anytime, any movement, okay, a pullback will be there. Now there will be a condition for the pullback, okay, and that is related to this trend line. So let's discuss that in detail in the next point of the agenda, okay. But as of now, everything looks bullish. Yes, so everything is bullish. In this case, S&P 500 will be seen 80% bullish on the daily chart, right? Because of the so the only problem is the moving averages. Now Dow Jones. In case of the Dow Jones, the crossover is already there. Everything looks good. Moving averages bullish, Ichimoku Cloud bullish, Bollinger Bands bullish, and MACD is bullish, Stochastic RSI is bullish. Everything is bullish. So Dow Jones is 100% absolute bullish on the daily chart. Okay. Last week also and last week also, I've repeatedly mentioned that Dow Jones is in much better condition as compared to the S&P 500. So now we can see 100% the Dow Jones is 100% bullish, absolute bullish. S&P 500 is 80% bullish. Okay, on the weekly chart, S&P 500 was 65% bullish. So overall, now the S&P 500 is in the bullish zone. Okay, overall, but it is not absolute bullish or heavily bullish. It is just in the bullish zone. And whatever is going to happen on Monday, Tuesday, etc., I will keep you posted. Through these, the daily precise updates of the S&P 500, which I give to my Patreon community members every day from Monday through Friday. And guys, if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, in that case, you can join my Patreon community. I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And guys, it is not just about these, the daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day, but I also give these the stock market opportunities to my Patreon community members, minimum 5 to 10 every week. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. And guys, when you follow that link, then you will see that this is my Patreon page and this is my Patreon profile. And here on my Patreon page, there are these two tiers. This one is daily S&P 500 updates for non-US and Canada residents. This is daily S&P 500 updates for US and Canada residents only. Now, whenever you subscribe to either of these, then you will be getting the daily S&P 500 analysis, updates, probable movement, as well as opportunities, minimum 5 to 10 every week. And guys, if you notice, many people have joined my Patreon community for last many days, weeks, months, years, and they are getting these daily precise updates of the S&P 500 every day from Monday through Friday, as well as the stock market opportunities. And they know that what is happening and why that is happening and what will be the implications. So guys, whenever you want to join my Patreon community, I have given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community and you are welcome. Now guys, I am going to discuss the third and the last point of the agenda of this S&P 500 weekly technical analysis. But before that guys, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. Now, in the coming week, there is nothing special as such, okay, in this entire week. And this means that whatever has happened in the previous week, okay, this is the change from bearish to neutral, and now the change is going to be seen from neutral to bullish, okay. So the market is going to trade accordingly. So now the thing is that the problem is actually created by, or it will be created by this, the stochastic RSI. Because stochastic RSI is about to hit the absolute saturation, okay, where the K and also the D will be seen at 100. And when that happens, okay, either if, means even if the K and D, this condition, okay, K equal to D equal to 100 is not seen, but only the K equal to 100 is seen. In that case, what will happen? In that case also, the S&P 500 will come into the technical obligation or to give a bearish movement. Now this bearish movement should be there at least for 1 day, at least for 1 day. Now it may happen for 2, 3, 4 days or 5 days, but the condition, the technical obligation says just for 1 day. Now if the S&P 500 hits the absolute saturation on Monday, okay, and if you are my Patreon community member, then I will tell you, okay, whether it has hit the saturation or not, because I am using the modified technicals, and it is not that easy to calculate the to pre-calculate the stochastic RSI value. That is why once the stock market opens on Monday, okay, then in my first update, okay, I will to my Patreon community member, I will tell you whether it is happening today, okay, or not, and accordingly, okay, you can make changes to it, right? Now, so this is clear. Now number 2, that there was a trend line breakout, okay, and this trend line breakout was on Thursday because of the favorable retail sales data, right? So now because of these the conditions and the factors, okay, S&P 500 has moved up, almost regained its bullish trend, but now it is in a technical compulsion, in a technical obligation. See, what happens is that once any index or any stock, once it gives a bullish breakout, okay, generally it comes in the form of a gap up open. Okay, on Thursday the heavy gap up open was because of the retail sales data. Okay, so generally it comes in the form of gap up open, and when we see a gap up open, then it moves up. Then either immediately means either the next day, okay, or within a week generally, okay, or in 80% of the cases within a week, okay, or within 3 to 4 days, that index or the stock reverses or changes its direction, comes down. Okay, this is what we call as a short, this a pullback, just to fulfill the technical obligation. It comes down and it then tests the trend line. Now trend line is like this, okay, in the slanting condition, and now this means that if the S&P 500 comes down in that case, and if it doesn't come down on Monday to hit the trend line, in that case what will happen? Next day the value will further decrease, then the value will further decrease. However, now there is a strong confluence zone, strong support zone. This means that whenever S&P 500 comes down, okay, there is also the trend line and all of the technicals are there. Then around this the zone 5440 or 5450, okay, or from 5400 to 5450. Okay, this is a zone where we can anticipate S&P 500 will find heavy support. If it loses this the zone, then okay, it will resume its bearish trend. Now the bullish trend, okay, there is no problem as such other than this the technical this obligation to the trend line and as well as the stochastic RSI. Now there is another problem through the Dow Jones. The same problem is because of the trend line. This means that as of now, okay, S&P 500 is struggling to move up, but the Dow Jones has the potential to move up because the trend line is still far. It is around 40,950, 40950. Okay, this means that if the S&P 500 on Monday, okay, at earliest, if it gives a very limited movement, okay, on Monday, upward movement, and at the same time Dow Jones moves up and hits the trend line, then Dow Jones will fail, S&P 500 will also fail, because this is what happens when this kind of condition is seen. Okay. However, if there comes up, if the market remains in the extremely heavy bullish movement, okay, with the heavy bullish movement, and with the heavy bullish movement, I mean, so those are the special cases where we will see that it can even breach that trend line, okay, but it will still struggle, because it has to struggle, so it will struggle, okay. So this is, so everything will be quite clear by Monday, and if still something is left, then that will be clear by Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, everything will be pretty much clear, okay, whether it will come down, if come down to what levels, because there is a strong support level, my calculated support level, okay, in this the zone. So if it comes down, then most likely it will hit that the support level, and then there will be a bounce back. If it loses the support level, in that case, fourth round of selling, means closing, if the closing comes below that the support level, okay. Now this any more bullish movement here, in this case in the S&P 500, okay, is going to face another big problem, this is the challenge, and that is the 5566 mark. That was the previous high. Okay, and also say if the S&P 500 remains below 5566 and also in a condition where it fails to breach 5566, right? Number one, it remains below 5566. Number two, it never breaches 5566. In that case, what will happen? In that case, there will be a small window of seeing the continuation of the bearish movement. Although chances are very less, like 5 or 10% only. But if this happens, this means that S&P 500 must at least hit and breach this 5566 so that it can come out of this particular complication. Once it hits, breaches, in that case, doesn't matter whether it is coming down or moving up, because eventually it will correct itself and it will move up, because in this case, after breaching 5566, okay, in that case it will open that was the all-time high, 5670. 5670 was the all-time high of the S&P 500. Then it will open the 5670. Okay, but that will be subjective, because before that there are other these are resistance levels, and also before that the stochastic RSI, okay, it is there, it is about to hit the saturation. In case of the Dow Jones, okay, it is expected to move up. So in next 1 or 2 days, the stochastic RSI of the Dow Jones is expected to hit the saturation. Okay, so before it try to move up further heavily, it will re-enter into the overbought condition and the saturated condition on the daily and the weekly chart. That will force the S&P 500 to come down. This means that if the S&P 500 doesn't hit that trend line, okay, in next 2 or 3 days, and it keeps on moving up, in that case expect 2 or 3% decline, because eventually on some day it will come down to hit the trend line. Okay, now this is a technical obligation to trend line. It is 90% correct. In 90% of the cases it happens, right? And we are talking about the index. This means that this is like 95% or so. Okay, but only in rare cases or only in few cases we have seen that this was not fulfilled. However, after a month or so it came down and then it fulfilled. Means eventually sooner or later it will be fulfilled. Okay, and that was clear, and that is clear, right? So this is the fall, this is the trend line, okay, level to the trend line, and the bullish movement, okay, it will be heading to 5670 once it breaches 5566. But before that it will have to clear many of these resistance levels. But whatever is going to happen or whatever will happen, I will keep you posted through the daily precise updates of the S&P 500, which I give to my Patreon community member every day from Monday through Friday. And guys, if you have not yet joined my Patreon community, then I've given the link in the description of the video and also in the comment section. You can follow that link and you can join my Patreon community. So guys, hit like if you have liked this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet subscribed. And guys, if you have any questions that you want to ask, then you can ask your questions through the comment section. So guys, this was my S&P 500 weekly technical analysis for the week of August 19th, means from August 19th, which is Monday, to August 23rd, that will be Friday.